everyone and welcome back to my channel. That was like a weird accent and not my accent at all. I wanted to chat to you today about some very talked about products within the beauty industry, and we are of course talking about the IT Cosmetics CC creams. Now the IT Cosmetics original CC cream is the Your Skin But Better CC cream, which looks like this. But recently they also launched the oil-free matte CC cream, which looks like this. Now I was really excited to try the first one when it launched. At first you could only get it in America, and you'd always see people talking about it, that they'd got it in America, and then IT Cosmetics launched over in the UK, and then not that long ago they launched in Boots as well. So in certain Boots stores and in Boots online you can buy IT Cosmetics, and most things I've tried from their range I really like. I'm a big fan of the CC cream, and I'm a really big fan of the Superhero mascara. That is an amazing mascara. Really like that. So in general it's a brand that I think is a very kind of solid brand. The products perform very nicely. But how do these two CC creams compare, what with that being a very iconic product? So I'm going to talk to you first about my experience with the original one, and then we'll compare the matte one. The original one is their Your Skin Better CC Cream Colour Correcting and Full Coverage Cream. Now it also has a SPF of 50, which is UVA and UVB, which is really awesome. The packaging of it I think is really great. It's really portable. It comes with a nice little pump, which is really easy to use, and you can see that I've used a fair bit of this, like it's kind of a bit dented. And what I really like about this product is when they say CC cream, I think sometimes we kind of have gotten a little bit confused with the whole CC, BB, what's the whole point? I'm not a fan of BB creams. I think BB creams are pretty pointless. I do tend to enjoy a lot of CC creams. Really like the Bourjois one, but I got sent a small sample of this. It wasn't the full size, it was a really small sample when they first launched in the UK. It was in like a little jiffy bag that had lots of different bits and bobs from the range, and I used it once and I sort of thought, oh, it's okay, whatever, I wasn't too fussed. And then I used it with a damp beauty blender, which to be fair is the secret to making most things look amazing. But once, sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. Once I used it with that, I was blown away by how great it actually was. The coverage that this gives is medium. You can build it up to be full coverage, but I'll explain in a minute why I don't think the formula is best suited to that. Medium coverage, but the glow that it gives is beautiful. It is Your Skin But Better. You sort of look like you're lit from within when you're wearing this, to a point where every time I wear this I always get compliments on my skin, and my boyfriend, who never really notices my makeup, well, that's not true, he will notice and say sort of like, oh, your makeup looks nice or your skin looks nice, but without fail, every time I wore this, when I first got it, he'd be like, your skin looks really good today, like you sort of look glowy. And it was this. Now when we say glowy, when you apply this, the finish is very glowy. I know there's another version of this, which is their dewy version, which I've not got an interest in trying because I know that it won't be suited to my skin, which is pretty oily. It's oily, and I also have quite a lot of horrible texture in my skin, which you can't necessarily see on camera, but if I come a little bit closer, you can kind of see here a little bit, can't you? My pores are just, they look very nice. Well, I don't like them anyway. And so when you've got something really dewy, I think it can highlight that. This, when it's set with a powder on top, looks beautiful. It looks really lit from within, really gorgeous. However, because it is that little bit more dewy, it doesn't last particularly well on my skin. So I do wear this all the time, hence why I've used it up a lot. But what I'll do is I'll wear this if I just need to like nip to the shop. Or if I just need to like run an errand, or I know I'm not going to be out for a whole day. If I'm going to be out for a whole day, I need something that's going to kind of stay put a bit better than this does, because this won't stay put for as long on my skin, which is unfortunate, but it's just because my skin's very oily. In terms of shades in these ranges as well, the shade range isn't spectacular. I don't think it caters particularly well to really dark skin, but I wear the shade medium, and the medium shade is really good. It's a perfect match for me, to be honest, which is weird because you would kind of think like it's just a bit generic, isn't it? But medium works really well on me. So that's my thoughts on the original CC cream. I really do like it, and I think if you are somebody who doesn't like wearing foundation, this is really lovely because it feels quite light on the skin. It just looks like your skin, but better. It does what it says on the tin, which is really great. Then we have the new oil-free matte version. Now this really appealed to me because, as I said, my skin is very oily and I find that this doesn't last as long. So this one says that it's pore minimizing full coverage cream. Again, the full coverage kind of thing. I think it's medium, and you can build it up to full coverage if you want to. I don't tend to do that with any foundation really, because I just think it can look a little bit much. I like to put a nice thin layer and then go in with concealer where I need that little bit of extra coverage, which is what I did today. I normally use a damp beauty blender to apply this, but I had been using it like that, and today I applied it with the Real Techniques buffing brush just because I wanted to see what the difference was like, and I like it just as much, probably a little bit more with the beauty blender if I'm being honest. I think that makes everything look good. But that's what I've got on my skin right now, and you can see that the coverage is really nice. It just looks quite natural, kind of covers up any areas of like redness or anything like that. I have got concealer into my eyes obviously. I'm wearing the Revolution what's it called? The Revolution, you know, the Revolution Tarte dupe, the one that's like with a big doe foot applicator. I'll link it down below. I can't think off the top of my head what it's called, that one. I'm wearing that as well. The other difference that this has is it has an SPF of 40, which is a little bit less than this one, which is actually quite interesting, I think, because I would tend to use this more in the cooler months. So when it was really warm, as much as I love the finish of this, I couldn't use this because it was just so dewy that on my skin it was just too much, like I'd be oily too quickly. But when it cools down a little bit, I definitely can use this on my very oily skin, and that means that the SPF 50 is kind of a little bit more wasted because you're in cooler weather anyway, whereas this one would be more suited to warm weather, but it's not as high an SPF, although 40 is still fine for me. Anything over 30 I'm happy with on a day-to-day basis. But the other difference I find with this is that the texture when you apply it is very, it's not very thick, that's the wrong way to say, but it's thicker than the texture of this. So this is a little bit more solid, a little bit less emollient. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little pump of the original on the back of my hand just to show you, and then I'll do a little pump of the oil-free. I've got the oil-free in the medium shade as well, and then I'm going to just show you. So that one there is the original, and if I rub that in, you can kind of see it's got that little bit of dewiness to it. Can you see that? It's kind of disappeared on my hand, hasn't it? Whereas this one, you can see that the texture's a little bit thicker. God, my hands are so veiny. You can see that the texture's a little bit thicker, can't you? Because it's not moving. Once I rub it in, it kind of rubs in. You can see that the product's just got a little bit more density to it. Works really nice with your fingers as well, the oil-free one. The other one does as well, but I just prefer it with the Beauty Blender. But I really like the finish of the oil-free one because it does just kind of blend into nothing, but it's not got a shine to it, and it doesn't make my skin any oilier. Now they claim that this gives you 12 hours wear. Anything other than Revlon Colour Stay on me doesn't do that. I always have to blot, I always have to powder. It is what it is. There's not really tons I can do about that, if I'm being honest. It's just one of those annoying things, and I don't mind that because, like I said, it's a tinted moisturiser. I'm not expecting a tinted moisturiser to have great staying power and that kind of thing. In terms of coverage, these are both amazing. They both retail at £30, which is expensive, but they are by far the best tinted moisturisers / CC creams that I have used. They are nicer than the Bourjois ones. The Bourjois ones are great for the price. Really great, still use the Bourjois ones all the time. These are just that little bit nicer. I love the packaging, and I just think that they're the type of product that I defy anybody not to like because they just work so incredibly well. So that's the difference between both of these, and yeah, that was pretty much everything I wanted to tell you. They both come in 32ml, which is a little bit more than your average foundation, 2ml more to be exact, and I just love both products. I will use this one and I will use this one, and if I ran out of one and I had to repurchase, probably would repurchase the oil-free one just because my skin is oily, but this one is awesome as well. And if you are slightly more dry skinned, this is amazing. If you've got slightly older skin, this would be amazing on you as well. So let me know if you've tried either of these, what you think. If you've got any other recommendations for other products from It Cosmetics, I'd love to hear about them, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.